Hey guys, Welsknight here, and welcome back to another episode of FTB Beyond. There has been a little bit of a live stream, and I've done some work on the village, just putting some kind of finishing touches on it, and there's still probably a couple things that we're going to add to the village as time goes on throughout the series, but for the most part, I think I'm finished working on the village, and I'm ready to start our new project, which is going to be a base, a proper base, not a village transformation, but a base over here. What I want to do is I want to make like an abandoned laboratory. Like think like mad scientists. They were doing experiments and something went horribly wrong. Sort of a Resident Evil vibe almost. And it's going to be kind of built into this extreme hills biome. And we're going to have little bits that kind of stick out here and there, like biospheres and all sorts of crazy stuff. It should be really cool. I've got kind of an idea of how this is going to go, and I think it's going to be awesome. I ran a refined storage cable all the way over here, so we do have access to our refined storage network. And down there, I can't really see it, but there's a wireless transmitter down there, so we can have access to our wireless through our wireless crafting grid as well. So let's start diving into it. What I want to start with today is kind of the main entrance to the base, and that's going to go right here. It's going to be kind of into the hillside, and I want it to be kind of like a big doorway sort of thing. So I think it'll be pretty cool. Let's look at block palette first of all. So I kind of planned some of this out in the live stream. I did some experimenting with block palettes and stuff like that. And I'm going to need some of these laboratory blocks. I'm going to need a chisel, which is right here. I'm probably going to need to make another chisel. I would be using the eye chisel, but the eye chisel is currently bugged in this version of the pack, where anytime you use it, it instantly crashes your game. So until that's fixed, it has been fixed in the latest version of chisel, but not in the latest version of FTB Beyond. So hopefully that will be fixed soon. But anyway, so we're going to go with the laboratory blocks, and then we're also going to grab some of these factory blocks as well. And let's see what we can do with this. I think this is going to be really cool. Let's just start with some of this, and I think that's actually it. I think those are the only ones that we need from here. So let's go maybe about here. I think I want this to be like 7 wide at the entrance. And we got to figure out where the door itself is going to go. Let's just grab some cobble, and let's say the door is going to go like right here. This will be just kind of like a guideline to show us, hey, this is where the main doorway is, okay? So then we'll have our door there, and let's put some blocks down over in here, and let's just go, yeah, about there should be good. Builder's wand, grab that, and let's just kind of build that over. Now, I also put a whatchamacallit, a mega torch or whatever, over here, hiding over here. So no mobs should spawn, which is good because that means we can also play with lighting and some cool stuff like that. So that should be really cool. But anyway, this I think is going to be kind of the main entranceway. And then what we'll do is we'll kind of come through here. Let's actually put that one back. Let's do maybe that. Here. Maybe there, here, and here, and then maybe one here and here. And we'll input these laboratory blocks there instead, just to give us a little bit of texture variation in the floor. I think that'll be good. Then we're going to take these factory blocks, and we're going to use a couple different ones. So we've got these slightly rusty plates here, and then we've got these metal columns, which I think are super perfect for the for the look that I'm going for. So right here, we'll have these columns. Let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This would be 7. Let's push. Yeah, if I use my drill on that, it's going to break up higher than I want it to. So let's just clear this out with a pickaxe. I want my pickaxe to start leveling up so that I can put redstone on it because it's so slow. But that's okay. And then we'll bring that over here and down, okay? So at the main entranceway right here, we're going to have some relatively large... this is also 6. How did I manage that? Counting is hard, I guess. Apparently I can't count to save my life. Hey, whatever. It's fine. Grab these, and let's just put those in there. There we go. Okay. So here, we go up. Oh, this is all going to have to get cleared out, too. This one I can use the drill for, though. There we go. So we'll bring that up to here. And bring these factory blocks down like so. So this is going to be this big, huge kind of entranceway right here, okay? Then I'm thinking back here. Let's just clear that out. And we'll clear this part out. And actually, I need to clear this part out too, don't I? Because I want these guys to go down here. And we'll build that up like so. I think that looks pretty cool and really kind of gives the atmosphere that I'm going for here. I think this will work out really well. Okay, so we'll do something like that. Can you kind of start to see what I'm envisioning as far as just like oh, that's not the one. Well, actually, that is the one. Let's put you there, you here, and then fill the rest of those in. And then we'll go there and there. And that should work. And then we'll fill that part in as well, although looks like I need more of those factory blocks, which are these ones. There we go. Now, it's getting super dark. Let me sleep real quick. And then we're going to look at some light options. Okay, so we've got something going kind of like this. We're going to have to do something up here in the ceiling, I think. Let's just kind of clear some space up here. There we go. And lights, there are these pretty cool lamps from, I think it's Project Red. Let's see. Yeah, right here, these inverted white cage lamps. These are pretty cool. So we're going to need some of this white Illumar or whatever. Ooh, looks like I'm going to need some bones. No, not white dye. Bone meal. Bone meal. There we go. Let's just make a few stacks of that. I should have a fair amount of bone. Oh, wait. No! Hey! Whatever. Let's just toss that in there. There we go. So we're going to need some of this white Illumar. Let's just make a stack. And then we're going to need cathodes. So let's make some of those. Let's make 1, 2, 3, 7 redstone torches because we didn't have quite enough. There we go. And I should have a bunch of these circuit plates. These circuit plates you get by just smelting smooth stone. And I accidentally did that way more than I wanted to. So that's all right. But let's just make a bunch of these guys. These inverted white cage lamps. And these things, like, look at those. Isn't that... Like, that's such a cool light. Now, ultimately, I'll want them up here in the ceiling, not down in the ground. But I think they look pretty cool, for sure. Like, I like them quite a lot. So I am pretty pumped to be using these. Okay, there we go. So we got kind of our floor in place. We got that done. Now, this area up here, I don't know. Part of me is thinking maybe we bring this part across to kind of section out the room a little bit, but at the same time, part of me is thinking maybe not. This is going to be our door, for sure. That much I know. And maybe we do something like this to bring this back across. I'm going to run out of these pretty quick, aren't I? There we go. If we do something like that, yeah, I'm definitely going to run out. That's all right. Let's make more. Actually, I've got a whole bunch of them right here. Let's just chisel those up. There. And then I'm going to need more of these. And that should be good for now. Let's break those guys out. And there. So we'll have this, as I said, this will be our door. Or our wall, or whatever you want to call it. So, now the question is, how do we want to do this? Because I'd kind of like, well, like this area back here, nobody's ever going to see this. So this can just, we could just fill that in with cobble. Maybe we bring this up? Like that? And then up here, no, I don't like that at all. The question is, how are we going to do this so that it looks like a door? Because if we had, like, Malice's doors in the pack or something like that, we could make our own custom, like, sliding doors and stuff like that, and it would be really cool. But we don't. We don't have that option. So I need to do something that kind of creates the illusion that these slide, right? So maybe we go, and I don't want this to have a factory vibe to it. I want this to have like a creepy laboratory vibe to it instead. Let's see. What could be an option, potentially? That might work. Maybe? Now, that's too factory-esque for my taste. What about... What about that one? That's a bit too futuristic. Let me look at some block options, and I'll come back to you. Okay, I think I got it. This one. I think that works. Like, it fits within the color scheme, and it kind of gives the idea that these are like big sliding doors that open up to let you in to the factory, which I think is pretty cool. Now, I need to figure out what I'm going to do for a ceiling. In the live stream, I used this pattern, this laboratory chisel block right here. I did that in the ceiling, but in retrospect, I don't think I really like that idea very much. So I'm thinking we're going to do something a bit different instead. And we have a lot of options. Like, we could do something like this, but I think that's a bit too clean for what we're going for here. Because as I said, we're looking at, kind of super rundown, nasty, scary laboratory sort of vibe. We're looking for something like that. We're not looking for something that's really clean, but we also don't want to go too far and make it have a factory vibe either. So ceiling-wise, and I also don't want it to appear that this is just like a man cave, because it's not. That's not the goal either. So let's see. What would fit here for a ceiling? I don't want to use that. Maybe... What about this. How would that look? Would that be too blue? Yeah, that's too much. Okay, let me see what I can come up for this. Alright guys, I am back, and after exploring a lot of different options, I did end up settling on this one. I didn't think I was going to, but that was the one I ended up going with. I just couldn't find something that I liked better. So, I don't know, if you have other suggestions, by all means, let me know, but I looked and I couldn't find what I was looking for. So, let's try something else here. I want to see if we do something like that up here. I was hoping that those would go the other way to kind of help us create the illusion that there's like a something that these doors slide along, but I'm not seeing that. Maybe we'll just do that for now with some hardened stone up there. That could work. Just keep it nice and simple. Okay, so this is kind of our room. Now, this is going to expand off in other directions as time goes on. Obviously, this is just the preliminary entrance, so there's not really a whole lot here yet. Let's just fill this in for now, just so you guys can kind of get an idea of how this is going to feel. And then I'm thinking we'll put a light right here. And what I'm wanting to do is essentially keep a lot of the light pretty minimal, right? So we'll do something like this, maybe against this wall right here. We'll put a refined storage thingy. So let's go back here, and we'll go down to Y level. Oh, okay. I was going to say Y level 59, but apparently there's a cave there. That was surprising. There we go. There we go. All right, and then we'll grab some cable from here. That's... Oh, I was going to say that's probably not going to be enough, but it looks like it will be. Let's just bring that over here and up like that. There we go. We'll grab this guy and toss him right in here. And then I can put you back. So we'll have like a little refined storage monitor right here to kind of show how, and some other panels as well. Like there's going to be some like screens and panels and stuff. And I like how the textures kind of connect here to differentiate that a bit. I think this is a cool look. This is a cool look. So now let's grab some regular old stone. I'm going to need more than that. Let's grab some regular old stone, and let's start doing some stuff here with this doorway, okay? Because what we want is to give the impression that this is built into the mountain, okay? I want this to look like this was something that was built, not something that was already kind of here. So we're going to kind of wrap some stone around it there. We'll make like a flat wall back here like so. And then this little corner, I want it to kind of come at an angle. I don't want it to just be this flat wall, right? Because that's not a good look. So maybe we go like that. Maybe we split it again right here and bring that over like so. Yeah, I think that could work. All this grass is it's a little weird, but that's okay. Okay, so now I still think that might be a little bit too steep, if you will. To, like too much flat wall is kind of the vibe that I'm getting there. Yeah, that seems better. Okay. So then let's kind of bring this out and around and kind of into maybe here? Maybe I'm bringing that out too much. I'd like to have a little bit of grass along the edge, I think. So maybe we go to like there. And then we build that up. And that up. And that should be a bit better. We've still got some problems right here, which we can address easily enough. Right? We're just trying to kind of make this look a bit more natural. We want this to look kind of like a natural cliff face. Which is often much easier said than done. We also want to get rid of this ugly diorite that's just like chilling here. Let's go, maybe bring that up as well. Right? And you got these like random floating blocks here. Like that's not a good look at all. We need to add some support to those. Otherwise they just look really unnatural. Maybe we do something like that. That could be good. You just gotta kind of play around with it a little bit. See if you can come up with something that you like. This kind of makes it look like the door is not only built into the mountain, but kind of supporting the mountain, which I kind of like in some ways. Maybe we do another one there. That looks pretty good. I think that looks pretty good. Oh man, look at the lighting and the vibe that this gives. Like, doesn't that give you like a creepy vibe as you're in here? And then I'm imagining DecoCraft items kind of strewn about. Like there's all sorts of stuff in DecoCraft. There's like syringes and like doctor's stethoscopes, you know, medical tools, things like that. I'm thinking all sorts of like stuff kind of strewn about the floor, debris, you know, just creepy stuff. But yeah, look at that. Oh man, this is gonna be amazing. This is gonna be so cool. I'm gonna love it. I can just already tell. That's a cool look. And the lighting is really what brings it all together, for sure. Just the fact that we've got these shadows. You've got like one light right there. I've tried different lights as well. This is really the one that kind of did it for me. Let's run to our deco bench real quick and just try. Let me see if I can find some items in there. In fact, we might actually just bring the whole deco bench with us if it's going to get used regularly. Let's just take the whole thing with us. Why not? This is pretty much the only thing that I can't produce through my refined storage system. Yeah, oh man. We're just gonna let it stay night for a little while, I think, so we can kind of play around with some of these things. So there's like doctor's syringes. What's this? Classy telephone. You know, but we can do like we might put some random stuff kind of on the floor. Just kind of like this was a thing once, and now it's been long abandoned. There was something that went horribly wrong. People fled in a panic. You know, maybe we grab a stethoscope and put that down like right here. Just stuff kind of strewn about. Let me look through a few different things and see what else I can come up with. Oh, look at this. There's a whole science tab. Oh, this is going to be amazing. Okay, so we got syringes here, hospital bed, heart monitor, rolling tray. Yeah, look at that. Oh, I can't put it there. Maybe here. I love the fact that there's an entire science tab. Stethoscope, gas cylinders, syringes, hospital. Yeah, we're going to use a lot of this stuff. We're going to use a lot of this stuff throughout this build, I think. I may end up going a little bit crazy on the deco craft, but we'll see. Some surgical tools. Maybe we'll put these syringes over here because they like fit. But can you kind of see what I'm going for? You know, if we get rid of this deco bench, like you can kind of start to see the idea of what's going on. And I think it is pretty sweet. Like I'm really looking forward to this project. I think we're going to be able to do some really cool things with this. Like, just look at how dingy and spooky and kind of scary that looks. I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. But guys, I think I am out of time for this episode. So my friends, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. I do appreciate it, and it really helps out my channel. You can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. There are links in the video description below, so check that out as well. Otherwise, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll definitely see you next time.